Shall we do a watch and talk today? I got some Steve Turley. He's Dr. Steve Turley. And yeah, he's pretty good. So let's take a listen.
Iran is unraveling right before our very eyes, and the regime knows it. We've got 3 American carrier strike groups now encircling the Islamic Republic. We've got a naval blockade strangling Iran's economy to the tune of $500 million a day. We've got the IRGC acting out in desperation, and the most shocking story that nobody in the legacy media is even talking about, we've got a mural just unveiled inside Iran itself that may have just accidentally confirmed what many of us already knew.
Khomeini's dead.
Iran's entire command structure is collapsing in real time, and we're about to see why. There's absolutely nothing they can do to stop it. Hey gang, it's me, Doctor. Standard Time. Something absolutely massive slipped through the Suez Canal and emerged into the Red Sea. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the largest, most advanced,
that's one you don't want to mess with.
lethal aircraft carrier ever constructed by human.
I believe it
hands,
has the laser beam weapon now.
Now, if you don't know, the Gerald R.
Right on the front.
Ford is a floating city of war. She displaces over 100,000 tons. She carries more than 75 aircraft. And get this, she's powered by 2 nuclear reactors that allow her to operate for 20 years without refueling. She's equipped with an electromagnetic aircraft launch system, the most advanced carrier launch technology ever built, capable of putting fighter jets in the air faster than any carrier in history. And she did not come alone. The Ford entered the Red Sea, escorted by the guided missile destroyers USS Mahan and the USS Winston S. Churchill, each carrying Tomahawk cruise missiles and some of the most sophisticated anti-air and anti-ship systems in the American arsenal. Now, here's what makes this moment so strategically earth-shattering. The Ford is just one of 3 American carrier strike groups now converging on Iran from 3 completely different directions at the same time.
You know, I don't like war, okay? But so far, we have not put boots on the ground in Iran. And we've decimated their military, their navy, they have none, and we've blocked off all access to all of their ports. So their oil is backing up. I think I discussed this in the last one.
So you've got the USS Abraham Lincoln, that's already positioned in the Arabian Sea, the Gulf of Oman, cutting off Iran's eastern flank. And you've got the USS George H.W. Bush, completing a stunning 6,000-mile journey around the Cape of Good Hope, all the way around the bottom of Africa, arriving from the south through the Indian Ocean to close the trap from below. 3 carriers, 3 different routes, all converging on Iran simultaneously. The Ford from the northwest through the Suez, the Lincoln from the east, and the Bush from the south. Iran is completely encircled. Now, think about what this means. This is the first time in over 20 years since the Iraq War that the United States has deployed 3 carrier strike groups around a single country at the same time. The Islamic Republic of Iran has simply never faced anything even remotely like this.
They had no idea.
The United States has effectively created a 3-sided naval cage around the Islamic Republic. You can't come in, you can't go out, and if you try to challenge it, you're going to run into the most lethal naval force ever assembled in that region. The blockade itself went into full operation effect on April 13th, with the U.S. boarding and turning back 31 ships in the first 2 weeks alone. Then on April 16th, the embargo was expanded to cover all Iran-linked ships globally, including so-called dark fleet tankers operating far from the Persian Gulf. The U.S. is hunting Iran's shadow fleet across the entire Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. And what this is doing, as we talked about in our live stream Friday broadcast, is it's economically squeezing Iran like a boa constrictor. They're losing an estimated $500 million every single day from the blockade. Island, right around.
That's $500 million with an M. $1,000,000. $500 million a day.
Main oil export terminal, basically their ATM, is nearing full storage saturation, which means if ships can't move that crude out soon, Iran is going to be forced to physically shut down oil production. And shutting down oil wells doesn't just mean lost revenue, it means permanent, potentially irreversible damage to the wells themselves.
Yeah.
And the Iranian government is so desperate that Iran's own president just went on national television and asked the Iranian people to reduce their energy consumption to 2 lights per household. 2 lights! Again, let that hit you. This is a country that sits on the world's 2nd largest natural gas reserves. They're basically going through a forced blackout because they have no energy. This is how badly this blockade is working. Meanwhile, the Institute for the Study of War,
not badly, goodly.
The new IRGC commander, Ahmed Vahidi, he's been using Iran's attempts at trying to close the Strait of Hormuz and harassing some of these ships, specifically as a means of flexing internal power against his own political rivals, including Iranian Parliament Speaker Ghalibaf. So, in other words, the regime isn't just fighting America, it's basically fighting itself. And that's why Iran has been engaged in these sporadic attacks of some of these ships in the Strait. They're not really doing anything. I mean, the U.S.-led blockade of their blockade is only suffocating them financially, or only continues to suffocate them financially. But these limited projections of power are what IRGC commanders are using as strikes of legitimacy for their own rule from within. The seizure of ships, however limited, by Iranian forces, it's far more about Vahidi proving to other Iranian factions inside Iran that he's the one in charge, rather than and trying to change the trajectory of this war, which of course they're not doing.
So you see, the whole thing of it is Iran is surrounded. Its oil reserves are overfilled, shall we say. It's moved tankers, old ass tankers that are over 100 years old, moved them to store their oil because they're running out of storage. They run out of storage, they have to shut them down. And if they shut them down, they'll be good to get 50% of their oil back online, which means that 500 million a day would be cut at least in half to 250 mil a day, which they are just not wanting to happen, right? Yeah. And the rest of the world does have oil. They can come to America and buy oil. It's open. You know, Trump's selling shit. Anyway, Trump's a businessman. That's why I voted for him 3 times. He's a businessman. We were sinking. We're in debt. We had too many problems. There were too many leaks in our system. And what is Trump doing? He's fixing it like a businessman does. If people would look at Trump as a businessman and not a politician, they might like him a little bit more, because he's made our country richer in the past, year and a half than we have been for the past 4 years. So, under Biden. And the prices for gas were outrageous under Biden. Eggs were outrageous. $7 for a dozen eggs? Are you fucking kidding me? No, don't think so. I quit eating eggs because I couldn't afford the damn things. Anyway, I digress. Iran's ports, yeah. They have less than 24 hours to come to the table. And they can't find anybody to come to the table that they can agree on is the leader. Because we are decimating the extremists in that country. That's all we want to do, is get rid of the extremists that shout death to America, death to Israel every day, and make their school children shout the same thing every morning. You can't. America has never had the motto death to Israel or death to Iran or death to blah 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 blah. We've never said that. But them having a nuclear weapon, Trump's right. That's non-negotiable. Those people want to kill us over here. Sorry, but I'd rather not die. You know, I'm sure a lot of people don't want to die. Yeah, so anyway, there's my watch and talk with me for the day. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Iranian and how Trump has masterminded the whole thing. Don't let anybody tell you that he didn't know exactly what the fuck he was doing. So, yeah. Oh, and Iran kills its own people. 46,000 protesters just protesting, unarmed. They opened fire on their own people. You guys are fucking blowing up over Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Meanwhile, Iran's over there murdering 46,000 people. And you guys are like, oh. Come on, y'all. Let's think about this. And the media, don't get me started. The media is culpable in everything because they're the ones who push the narrative. And they knowingly pushed this narrative, and they keep pushing these narratives, such as Trump is a pedo. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, he's not. He's in the files. Of course, God and everybody is in the fucking files. Okay? Everybody. There are stars in there that just flew on the plane from one country to the next, didn't stop at his island, didn't party with him, and they only took one trip. There's also other ones that did visit that little island that that guy owned down there. And there are other ones that are associated with pizza, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyway, I don't think Trump is in there because you guys are crazy. And I'm talking about liberals who have lost their brain and have total TDS at this point. Yeah, you've lost the plot. This is America, where you live. I suggest you take a look at some of the Americans that moved away and regretted it almost instantly. All of them. Because America is the land of the free. This is what we fought for, and we will continue to fight for. Our place. Our house. Our house has a lock. Sorry. It's been open all during the Biden years. It was wide open with the welcome mat down. Forget it. Caused way too many problems. It was a mistake. And I wish we could have stepped in sooner. But then, you see, Trump would have actually been a dictator and a king at that point, right? Because, you know. Yeah. So, let's all think about what you're calling people before you call them that. Sorry, but you guys have lost the plot. Honestly. Trump's a businessman. He's doing what he knows best, which is business, which is making money. Our country was freaking dead ass broke, beyond broke, to the point where our dollar was fixing to go belly up. And America, no, real Americans, well, we're not willing to quite give up yet. We still fight for what we believe in, and freedom to say what you want to say. Yeah, you might have consequences, but you can say it. America's still that way. How many other countries are? Sorry, just asking. Let me know. Love you guys. Bye.